Hey warriors, the dawn breaks. Another day stretches before you, and before you glance at your phone, before you let the world dictate who you should be, there is a choice, a single moment where your mind still belongs to you, where infinite possibilities dwell in silence, where the version of yourself you aspire to become waits for your command. Words are not mere sounds that vanish into the air. They are seeds sown into the fertile soil of your consciousness. They are architects shaping the house you inhabit. They are compasses guiding your life in one direction or another. The ancient Stoics grasped this truth profoundly. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, who ruled vast lands yet first mastered his own mind, wrote in his Meditations, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." He understood that the struggle for a meaningful life is fought and decided within the theater of the mind. In those early quiet moments when you choose which voice gets to speak, most people surrender immediately. They reach for their phones and let fear narrate through news alerts. They let comparison whisper through social media feeds. They let anxiety replay yesterday's mistakes or preview tomorrow's uncertainties. They hand over their morning, which means they hand over their day, which means they hand over their life. But you are here because something within refuses to settle for that. What if the words you speak to yourself in the morning are far more than just words? What if they form the foundation on which your entire day is built? What if transforming your mind isn't about complicated techniques or years of therapy, but about 5 simple words spoken with intention, with belief, and with the awareness that you are addressing the most important person you will ever meet, yourself? Science confirms this. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to restructure itself, shows us that our thoughts carve neural pathways. Repeat a thought often enough, and it becomes a highway within your mind. Your consciousness physically reshapes according to the ideas you feed it. The words you speak each morning are the first nourishment your mind consumes. Make them sustaining. Make them potent. Make them count. Today I bring you 5 words. Just 5 words, not paragraphs, not long sentences, carrying the weight of Stoic wisdom and the transformative power to alter how you view yourself, your obstacles and your potential. These are not magic charms. They will not work if you whisper them once and forget them. But if you commit to speaking them each morning, letting them sink into your bones, they will rewire your habitual thought patterns. They will sculpt a version of you that is stronger, calmer, and more purposeful. The Stoics were not philosophers hiding in ivory towers. They were men and women confronting real battles, genuine loss, and true suffering. Epictetus began life as a slave and rose to become one of history's greatest teachers. Seneca counseled emperors while enduring exile and death. Marcus Aurelius led legions while cultivating inner peace through reflection. They discovered strength not by avoiding life's hardships, but by transforming the way they spoke to themselves about them. They mastered their inner dialogue, and you can master yours. Your mind is listening right now. It is poised for instruction. It is ready to be rewired, reshaped, redirected. The question is, what will you tell it? Will you replay the same worn-out stories of limitation, the same fears disguised as realism, the same excuses masquerading as wisdom? Or will you speak to yourself as someone worthy of greatness, someone capable of growth, someone who understands that the morning is sacred ground? Before we dive deeper, if this message strikes a chord, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel. We are building a community of people who refuse to settle for a mediocre inner life. And do not skip any part of this message. Every word has weight. Stay with me until the end. Let's begin this rewiring. Drop this in the comments. If it resonates, my words shape my reality. Number 1, I choose my response. Life will challenge you. That is not speculation, it is certainty. The question is never whether difficulty will arrive, but who determines its meaning. Each morning when you affirm, I choose my response, you reclaim sovereignty over the one thing no one can ever take, your response, not your circumstances, not the fleeting emotions of the moment, but the space between what happens and how you act. Viktor Frankl, who endured the horrors of Nazi concentration camps, understood this profound truth. He wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. Think about what this really means. Your phone buzzes with a message that changes your plans. Your body flares with pain from an old injury. Someone you care about makes choices that hurt them. A dream you've been nurturing hits an unexpected wall. In each of these moments there is a split second, a crossroads. One path is automatic reaction, the route most people take. They collapse under frustration. They let anger and helplessness consume their day. They create stories about life being unfair. But when you wake up and declare, "I choose my response," you train yourself to walk the other path, the path of conscious action. You remind yourself that you are not a leaf drifting in the wind. You are not a puppet dancing on strings controlled by circumstances. You are a human being endowed with agency, with choice, with the power to decide. This is the essence of Stoicism. Epictetus taught that while we cannot control what happens to us, we absolutely control how we respond. He divided the world into things within our power and things beyond it. What is within your power? Your judgments, your intentions, your actions, your responses. What is outside your power? Almost everything else, the weather, others' choices, the past, the future. Wasting energy on what you cannot control weakens you. Focusing your energy on what you can control, your response, makes you unstoppable. Let's make this practical. Tomorrow morning, before your phone touches your hand, before your mind races through a list of obligations, you speak to yourself. I choose my response. Say it slowly. Say it deliberately. Say it with weight. You are programming your mind for the day ahead. You are creating your identity as someone who is not reactive, but responsive. Someone who does not get controlled by circumstances, but who controls themselves. Then life tests you. You receive news that your finances are more complicated than you thought. Your first impulse may be panic, perhaps even despair. But because you started your day with those words, a pause emerges, a brief space where you remember, I choose my response. You can still feel concern. That is natural. But you do not spiral, you do not catastrophize. You assess calmly, you plan, you act intentionally. Someone you trusted deeply betrays you in an unexpected way. The old version of you would have carried that wound for months, maybe years. But now, you are rewired. You say, I choose my response. You decide to feel the pain without letting it define your worth. You decide whether to confront, to forgive, to create distance. You are choosing. You are the author. You are no longer a character in a story written by external events. This is not suppression of emotion. It is not pretending that all is well when it is not. It is recognition that between what happens and what you do, there is power, your power, the power to pause, the power to breathe, the power to ask, who do I want to be right now? Which response honors my growth, my peace, my values? Rewiring is built through repetition. Your brain has spent years building automatic highways that lead from trigger to reaction. You cannot erase them instantly, but you can construct new pathways, stronger and deliberate. Each time you say, I choose my response, each time you pause and act consciously, you reinforce these neural tracks. Eventually, choosing becomes your default. Response becomes your nature. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while facing conspiracies, betrayal, plagues, and war. He could have responded with tyranny or despair. Instead, he chose wisdom. He chose patience. He chose to see obstacles as training grounds for virtue. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Say it every morning. I choose my response." Feel the gravity of those words. Feel the liberation in them. You are not helpless. You are not a victim. You are someone who decides. Number 2, growth lives here. Pain is not your enemy. Discomfort is not a signal that something is broken. The moments when you feel stretched, pushed beyond what is familiar or comfortable, those are not punishments from the universe. They are the doors of growth knocking at your consciousness. When you wake up and declare, growth lives here, you are sending a clear message to your mind. This day, this challenge, this obstacle, is not something to avoid. It is fertile soil for something new to take root. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of fate, not merely accepting what comes, but embracing it as essential to your development. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." He recognized that comfort does not cultivate growth. Real growth is forged in the tension between who you are and who you are. Striving to become. Most people spend their lives avoiding friction. They remain in draining situations because stepping away feels difficult. They sidestep conversations that could bring clarity because confrontation is frightening. They limit their aspirations because reaching higher carries risk. Comfort becomes their false god. It is the graveyard of potential. When you rise each morning and say, "Growth lives here," you are reshaping your perception of discomfort. You train your mind to see challenge not as punishment, but as opportunity. The anxiety that strikes before a new endeavor, that is not weakness. That is the old you making way for your new self. The frustration that comes when progress is slow, that is not failure. That is the deepening of character. The exhaustion from pushing past limits, that is not collapse. That is breakthrough. Here's what this looks like in action. You finally sit down to learn a skill you've avoided for years. Perhaps it is a language. Perhaps it is an instrument. Perhaps it is a craft you admired from afar. Your first attempts are awkward. Your fingers stumble. Your mind cannot grasp all at once. Every instinct screams to quit, to return to what is safe, to protect the ego from humiliation. But you begin the day saying, "Growth lives here." You pause, you breathe, you recognize the sensation. This is not failure. This is your brain rewiring, forming new neural pathways to accommodate growth. You persevere not because it is easy, but because you have trained yourself to embrace challenge, or perhaps the challenge is emotional. A relationship demands a boundary you have never voiced. Your heart races at the thought. Your mind presents endless reasons to stay silent, to avoid discomfort. The fear is real because you are about to do something unfamiliar. Growth lives here. In this fear, in this moment, you choose yourself despite the terror. Old neural pathways demand retreat, but you are forging new ones, stronger ones that understand that honoring yourself may make others uncomfortable. Loving yourself may require others to adjust. Evolving sometimes means outgrowing. Epictetus was born into slavery. He could have spent his life bitter, cursing fate, wishing for different circumstances. Instead, he discovered freedom in the one place no chains could touch, his mind. He flourished not despite hardship, but through it. His teachings remind us, it is not what happens to you, but how you respond that shapes your life. His entire philosophy emerged from growth within the harshest soil. This is not about toxic positivity. It is not pretending hardship is a gift. Some events are genuinely devastating. Grief is real, loss is real, injustice is real. Yet even in those dark valleys, even when growth seems impossible, the truth persists. You can let suffering diminish you or deepen you. You can emerge bitter or you can emerge better. Not because suffering is inherently good, but because you have the power to decide your path. Say it each morning. Growth lives here. Say it in ease. Say it in struggle. Say it when excitement fills you. And say it when exhaustion overwhelms you. You teach your mind to recognize opportunity in every moment. You sculpt a self that does not recoil from challenge. You become someone who knows the most rewarding experiences lie beyond what intimidates you most. Drop a comment if you are ready. I welcome the discomfort of becoming. Number 3. Today matters most. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is uncertain. But today is alive. Today breathes. Today is the only canvas on which you can truly paint your life. When you rise each morning and say, "Today matters most," you are pulling your consciousness out of two invisible prisons, regret over the past and anxiety about the future. You anchor yourself in the only place that genuinely exists, the present moment. The Stoics were obsessed with this truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present, not because the past is unimportant or the future irrelevant, but because the present is the only place where your power resides. Consider how much mental energy is wasted elsewhere. People replay conversations from months ago, wishing they had said something differently. They punish themselves for choices long made, or they project into the coming week or year, imagining disasters that may never occur. They rehearse arguments that may never happen. They worry about outcomes they cannot control. Meanwhile, today, this single day, slips through their fingers like water. The only time you have influence over is right now. When you affirm, today matters most, each morning you train your mind to return home, to this breath, to this moment, to the only time and place where you can act, create and live intentionally. You are not ignoring the past. You are choosing not to be trapped by it. You are not denying the future. You are choosing not to be paralyzed by it. Here is how it shows up in practice. You wake with your mind racing, planning everything that must happen this week. Appointments, deadlines, obligations stacking like a mountain. The weight presses down on your chest before your feet even meet the floor. Anxiety floods in because your mind is trying to solve 5 days' problems at once. But you have trained yourself. Today matters most. You speak it. You feel your awareness settle. Yes, the obligations exist. But right now, what truly demands your attention? Making your bed, drinking water, moving your body, reaching out to someone you care about. The future will unfold, one present moment at a time. You only need to fully inhabit today, or perhaps your prison is the past. You are haunted by an earlier version of yourself, carrying shame for choices made, opportunities missed, or people you hurt. That weight colors every new experience. You long to move forward but keep looking back. Today matters most. Those words become your permission to release what you cannot change. Not because the past is irrelevant, but because drowning in it does not honor anyone, especially yourself. The person you were did the best they could with the awareness they had at the time. The person you are now has learned. Today is where you apply those lessons. Today is where redemption lives. Not in rewriting yesterday, but in writing today differently. Seneca spent years in exile, stripped of position, separated from the familiar. He could have been bitter or fearful. Instead, he produced some of his most profound work. He understood that each day is a complete life in miniature. He wrote, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life, each morning a rebirth, each night a closure." He squeezed meaning from the present moment because it was all he truly had. This rewiring changes everything. When you stop mortgaging your present happiness for future achievements, you become more effective. When you stop pouring energy into unchangeable pasts, you gain strength for today's challenges. You become someone who is fully here, present in conversations, alive in experiences, engaged with what is, rather than haunted by what was or paralyzed by what might be. Say it every morning. Today matters most. Let it draw you into now. Let it remind you that this day, this irrepeatable collection of hours, is your real life. Not someday, not back then, but today, right here, right now. This is where everything that matters is built. Drop it in the comments. I am fully alive in this moment. Number 4. I am enough. You have carried a lie for so long that it feels like truth. The lie that says you must achieve more to deserve peace, that you need to fix yourself before love finds you, that you have to accomplish more to feel worthy. That lie has stolen years from you today. It ends when you wake and declare, "I am enough." You are not claiming perfection, you are claiming wholeness. You are stating that your value is not tied to productivity. Your worth is not measured by approval or admiration. You are human, and that is enough. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus taught that our true nature, our capacity for reason and virtue, is already complete. He said he is wise who does not grieve for what he lacks, but rejoices in what he has. You already possess what truly matters. You just forgot to see it. The world has trained you to feel incomplete. Every advertisement whispers, you need something more. Social media scrolls suggest others have figured out a secret you lack. Comparison traps you in inadequacy. The treadmill never stops. Achieve this, then the next, then the next. Chase money, status, recognition, only to find the finish line has moved. You were never meant to arrive. You were meant to keep chasing. But what if you paused? What if you stood still and asked, Who decided I am not enough? Where did this measuring stick come from? The answer will shake you. You never consciously agreed to it. Society programmed it slowly, subtly, consistently, until you accepted it as reality. When you say, I am enough, you deprogram your mind. You remind yourself of a truth that existed before doubt was implanted. You came into this world whole, still enough. Here's what changes when you believe this. You stop performing for approval. You stop twisting yourself to please others at the cost of your own values. You make choices based on what aligns with your integrity, not what impresses strangers. You say no without guilt. You say yes without seeking permission. You exist unapologetically. Someone doubts your decisions. In the past, it would have triggered self-questioning, spirals of defense, seeking validation from people fighting their own battles with enoughness. But now, you are rewired. You say, I am enough. Opinions are just that. Opinions. They do not define your worth. They do not determine reality. Perhaps the inner critic is relentless. You see flaws magnified in the mirror. You review your life and notice only what is missing. You compare your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. But now, you speak, I am enough. You hear the critic without obeying it. You recognize the voice, but it does not get the final say. Your worth is not negotiable. Your enoughness is a fact, not a feeling. Even Marcus Aurelius, most powerful man in the known world, struggled with this. He wrote reminders to himself about his own insignificance in the universe, not to diminish himself, but to free himself from the pressure of needing to be more than human. Accepting limitations is not weakness, it is wisdom. He wrote, very little is needed to make a happy life. Everything you need is already within, in your way of thinking. Say it each morning, I am enough. Say it when you doubt yourself. Say it when you feel unworthy. You are not convincing yourself of a fantasy. You are remembering a truth that never left you. You are complete, whole, enough. Share it below. My worth is not negotiable. Number 5. I release control. Your hands are tired from gripping too tightly. Your mind is exhausted from trying to orchestrate outcomes. You were never meant to control. You have been fighting a battle you cannot win, forcing life to follow a script only you can see. The cost is high. Peace, presence, the simple ability to breathe without anxiety tightening your chest. When you wake and say, I release control, you are not surrendering to chaos. You are surrendering to reality. You are acknowledging a truth. The Stoics built their philosophy around, there are things you can influence, and everything else, almost everything, is beyond your reach. Epictetus drew a clear line. Use what is in your power wisely, and accept the rest as it comes. This is not passivity. This is true strength, real power, the power that emerges from knowing where influence ends and acceptance begins. Think about what you have been trying to control, other people's opinions of you, the speed at which your dreams manifest, whether those you love make the choices you want, the timing of your healing, the actions of strangers, outcomes where you've done all you can. You cannot control these things, yet you have poured energy into them. Energy that could have gone into what truly matters. Your effort, your attitude, your growth, your responses. The illusion of control is seductive. It feels safe. If you plan perfectly, anticipate every variable, manage every detail, you imagine that nothing bad will happen. But life does not work that way. The tighter you grip, the more it slips. The more you micromanage, the more suffering you create for yourself. Control is a myth, and chasing myths is exhausting. When you say, I release control, every morning, you practice one of the hardest, most liberating skills a human can learn. You train yourself to distinguish between influence and control. You can influence many things. You can show up intentionally, act with integrity, communicate clearly, set boundaries, plan thoughtfully, but after that you let go. You release, you trust. Not that everything will unfold as you wish, but that you will be okay no matter what unfolds. Here's what this looks like in real life. You care deeply for someone making choices that hurt them. You've spoken your truth. You've offered guidance. You've shown up fully. Yet they continue on a path you cannot walk for them. Every instinct wants to save them, to control their choices, to force their life into what you see as best, but you cannot. The grief of powerlessness weighs heavily on your chest. You say, I release control. Something shifts, not in their life but in yours. You can still love, you can still support, but you stop carrying responsibility for what is not yours. You honor their journey while reclaiming your peace, or perhaps the control you're chasing is time itself. You envisioned milestones, a life unfolding according to plan. Yet detours came, delays happened, doors closed unexpectedly, anger rises, frustration simmers. You say, I release control. You recognize the timeline is not yours to dictate. You can work diligently, remain committed, but you cannot force readiness before its season. You cannot rush what is still forming. Seneca wrote during forced waiting, luck is preparation meeting opportunity. Your role is preparation. The timing is not yours. Accepting this is not giving up. It is showing up fully while releasing attachment to outcomes. Even Marcus Aurelius, leading armies, could not control the result of every battle. He ruled an empire but could not prevent plague, betrayal, or death. Yet he mastered what was his to master: his character, his choices, his responses. He wrote, You always have the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get upset about things you cannot control. Freedom comes not from holding tightly, but by letting go of what was never yours to hold. Say it each morning. I release control. Feel your shoulders ease. Feel your jaw unclench. You are not giving up. You are giving over. You are influencing what you can and accepting what you cannot. In that acceptance you will discover a peace that cannot be taken from you. Type this in the comments. I trust the process beyond my control. 5 words, 5 pillars, 5 keys to unlock a mind that has held itself prisoner. I choose my response. Growth lives here. Today matters most. I am enough. I release control. These are not just words. They are the foundation of a new inner architecture. They are the language of someone who values their inner world above external chaos. They are the voice of a person committed to rewiring the mind, not as a luxury, but as survival. The Stoics did not craft these principles in comfort. They forged them in exile, in slavery, in battle, in grief, in the raw reality of being human when life is hard. They did not have easy answers. They asked the same questions you ask today. How do I find peace amidst chaos? How do I grow through suffering? How do I live fully when so much is beyond my control? You rewire your mind one morning at a time, one word at a time, one choice at a time. Some days you will forget. Old habits will pull at you. That is not failure. That is simply being human. You do not need perfection. You need commitment. Commitment to showing up, to speaking to yourself as someone worthy of an extraordinary inner life, because you are. These 5 words are waiting for you every morning. They will not work without your dedication. They will not force themselves into your mind. But if you speak them with intent, if you allow them to guide your choices, they will transform you. Not instantly, not magically, but undeniably. They will reshape your neural pathways. They will change the default patterns of your thoughts, your reactions, your sense of possibility. Your mind is listening right now. What will you tell it tomorrow? Will you repeat the stories of limitation, fear, and helplessness that have defined you? Or will you declare your sovereignty, your courage, your readiness to grow, to focus, to act with integrity? I choose my response. Speak it each morning. Let it remind you that you are not a leaf tossed by every breeze. You are not a puppet controlled by external forces. You are a human with agency, with the ability to pause, to breathe, to decide, to shape your day, to shape your life. Growth lives here. Speak it when life stretches you, when discomfort rises, when fear whispers to retreat. This is not punishment. It is the soil where your character is nourished, where your potential takes root, where the version of you have been waiting for begins to grow. Today matters most. Speak it when the past tugs at you, when tomorrow looms like a shadow, when distractions call and demands pile high. Speak it and anchor yourself in the present. This moment is where your power lives. This is where decisions are made. This is where life is truly happening. I am enough. Speak it even if your inner critic rages. Speak it even if doubt and comparison crowd your mind. Speak it and reclaim your inherent worth. Your value is not tied to accomplishments, not to the approval of others, not to the shifting tides of circumstance. You are enough, whole, complete. You have always been. I release control. Speak it when the world feels heavy, when outcomes feel uncertain, when people act contrary to your hopes. Speak it and let your shoulders drop, let your mind unclench, let your heart rest. You are not giving up, you are aligning with reality. You are freeing energy to focus on what truly matters, your actions, your growth, your response, your presence. These words are more than affirmations. They are the foundation of a new internal architecture. They are the blueprint of someone who has decided that their inner world matters more than external circumstances. They are the voice of someone committed to survival through mastery of the mind. Type this in the comments. I am the architect of my mind. Every morning is an opportunity, a chance to start again, to speak differently, to act differently, to live differently. The Stoics left us a roadmap, not a promise of ease. Epictetus did not have freedom at birth. He was a slave. Seneca faced exile and the stripping away of everything familiar. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet faced betrayal, plague, and the constant threat of death. They discovered that real power is found not in circumstances, but in how you respond to them. Your mind is listening. Every thought, every word, every declaration you make is being recorded in the neural pathways of your brain. You are literally building the architecture of your consciousness. With each phrase you speak, each intention you set, repetition is the key. Consistency is the bridge between old habits and the new version of yourself. Speak these 5 words every morning. Let them sink into your bones. Let them shape how you see yourself and your world. I choose my response. Say it and claim sovereignty over your reactions. Pause before you act. Reflect before you speak. Respond with clarity, not impulse. The space between stimulus and reaction is yours to own. That is where your growth, freedom, and peace reside. Growth lives here. Say it and embrace the discomfort that comes with change. Let the challenges, frustrations, and fears of life become the fertile soil for your character. Discomfort is the teacher, not the enemy. Fear is the signal that you're on the path of transformation, not the reason to retreat. Today matters most. Anchor yourself in this moment. Release regret over the past and anxiety about the future. Focus on the tasks, conversations, and actions that demand your presence. One breath, one decision, one action at a time. Life unfolds only in the now. This day, this moment, is your canvas. Paint it intentionally. I am enough. Say it and claim your intrinsic worth. Your value is not contingent on productivity, approval, or achievement. You are not defined by others' opinions or comparisons. You are whole. You are complete. You are enough exactly as you are. I release control. Say it and feel the tension melt away. Understand that there are things within your influence and things beyond it. Let go of what you cannot control. Stop forcing life to conform to your expectations. Focus your energy where it matters, on your choices, your efforts, your presence. Trust the process. Trust life. These 5 words are more than a mantra. They are a strategy. They are a system to transform your mind, your day, and your life. They are not magic. They do not work unless you work them. But if you commit, if you show up, if you speak them with intent, they will change you, slowly, steadily, undeniably. Type it in the comments. If you are ready, I am the architect of my mind. You are building a life that reflects your inner strength, your values, and your commitment to yourself. Your transformation is waiting. Your growth is waiting. You are waiting. Change does not happen overnight. Transformation is not a sudden lightning strike. It is the slow, deliberate work of repeated choices, one after another. Every morning you speak these 5 words. Every time you act from presence instead of habit. Every time you pause instead of reacting, you are building a new version of yourself. This is not easy. It is meant to challenge you. It is meant to stretch you. It is meant to separate the temporary from the permanent, the fleeting from the fundamental. I choose my response. Remind yourself that every situation, every hardship, every unexpected turn in life is a test of your agency. You cannot control the chaos of the world, but you can control the calm within yourself. Each pause, each deliberate act, each conscious word you choose is a victory over automatic reaction. This is the foundation of freedom. This is how a human being reclaims sovereignty over their inner life. Growth lives here. Every difficulty, every setback, every uncomfortable truth is an opportunity. The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of fate, not simply acceptance, but embrace. The obstacle in front of you is not a wall, but a doorway. Fear and discomfort are not signals to retreat, they are signals that you are moving in the direction of strength, wisdom, and resilience. This is where your character is forged. This is where your potential is unlocked. Today matters most. Stop allowing the past to chain you. Stop projecting into the future and losing the present. This day, this hour, this moment. This is where life happens. This is where impact happens. This is where you decide who you will be. Anchor yourself here, breathe here, act here, focus your energy where it actually counts. I am enough. Remind yourself that your worth is inherent. You are not what you achieve. You are not what others say about you. You are not measured by accolades, recognition, or comparison. You are complete. You are whole. You are enough right now. Just as you are. I release control. Let go of outcomes you cannot influence. Stop attempting to orchestrate what is beyond your reach. Focus your energy on what you can act on, what you can impact, what you can choose. Accept the rest. Trust the process. Release the illusion of control. Peace comes when you master this. Power comes when you do. These 5 words, simple yet profound, are your tools. Your anchors, your keys to unlocking a life of freedom, clarity, and strength. They are not magic spells. They are commitments to yourself. Commit each day. Speak them each morning. Live them each moment. Slowly, steadily, they will reshape the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act. Type this in the comments. I am the architect of my mind. Let the world witness your inner mastery. Let yourself witness it. You are building a life rooted in choice, presence, and self-respect. You are becoming unstoppable, not because life bends to you, but because your mind is unshakable. Every moment you wake is a blank canvas, not a continuation of yesterday, not a rehearsal for tomorrow, but a fresh opportunity to shape your reality. The choices you make in these first minutes define the trajectory of your day. They influence how you respond, how you engage, and how you allow external events to affect you. Most people wake up and surrender immediately. They hand over their energy to notifications, demands, and comparisons. They allow distractions to dictate their mindset before their own voice has even had a chance to speak. You are different. You refuse to outsource your morning to chaos. You understand that mastery begins quietly, in the invisible hours before the world clams for attention. Words are powerful. Each phrase you speak is a blueprint for your behavior, a guide for your emotions, a signal to your mind about who you are and who you intend to become. Focus, presence, intention, these are not abstract concepts. They are actionable forces. When you center yourself in the early hours, you prepare your mind for clarity. You determine which emotions will shape your actions. You decide which thoughts will gain traction and which will fade into insignificance. This is where discipline meets opportunity, where awareness meets potential. Your environment may be unpredictable. People may act in ways that frustrate or challenge you. Situations may unfold in unexpected directions. Yet your internal world can remain stable, anchored in deliberate choice. You are not subject to the whims of circumstance. You are not a bystander in your own life. You are the observer, the decision-maker, the architect of perception and response. Start each day by speaking to yourself with authority. Declare your priorities, affirm your capacity, remind yourself of your resilience. Do not allow fleeting impulses to steal your calm. Do not let fear masquerade as realism. Do not grant distraction the power to shape your focus. Take command. Direct your attention intentionally. Move through life as someone who does not react automatically but acts deliberately. Growth is not measured by ease or comfort. It is forged in persistence, patience, and courage. When challenges arise, notice them. Observe your reaction. Then decide, will this moment serve as a lesson, a stepping stone, or a barrier? Your response is a reflection of your strength. Your reaction is the proof of your character. Choosing consciously transforms ordinary experiences into deliberate training grounds for mastery. Life's unpredictability cannot be eliminated. Hardships will appear without warning. Loss will touch your heart. Mistakes will test your patience. Yet each trial is a mirror, showing you the limits you believe exist and the potential you have yet to realize. Awareness of this truth is liberation. Action from this awareness is empowerment. Speak to your mind each morning. Instruct it to seek clarity. Direct it to prioritize presence. Remind it that you are capable of navigating uncertainty with composure. Each word, each phrase, each intention is a brick, building the mental fortress where peace, focus, and resilience reside. Commit to this process. Show up consistently. Over time, the repetition will shape habits, reinforce values, and cultivate a mind that does not crumble under pressure. You are cultivating an inner world impervious to distraction and chaos. You are training yourself to act decisively, respond wisely, and live purposefully. Type this in the comments. I am the commander of my thoughts. Let this declaration become the compass that guides your day. Let it remind you that the foundation of success, strength, and fulfillment is laid in the mind before it manifests outside. Today is your domain. Own it. Every sunrise presents a choice, a decision to engage with life intentionally or drift through it unconsciously. The first thoughts you allow shape the narrative of your entire day. Too many people hand over control of these early moments. They consume the headlines, scroll endless updates, and let external noise dictate their mood. This is the path to distraction, anxiety, and exhaustion. You are not here to surrender. You are here to command, to set the tone for your day before anyone else has a chance to influence it. Silence is your ally in this process. A quiet mind allows clarity to emerge. A focused mind allows priorities to be set. A disciplined mind allows action without hesitation. Begin by noticing the space between waking and responding. This is where your power lies. This is where transformation begins. Self-mastery is cultivated, not discovered. It is forged in habits repeated with consistency. Every phrase you speak to yourself is an investment in your inner architecture. Words create focus. Words create resilience. Words create momentum. Do not underestimate the influence of your inner dialogue. What you tell yourself determines the quality of your choices, the depth of your courage, and the direction of your growth. Life will present obstacles. People will challenge you. Plans will falter. Yet your internal state is yours to govern. You can remain centered even when chaos erupts around you. Your calm is not a gift from circumstance. It is earned through conscious attention and deliberate practice. The mind that begins each day with awareness is the mind that navigates life with precision. Anchor yourself in the present moment. Observe distractions without surrendering to them. Recognize fear without obeying it. Notice discomfort without retreating. Your power lies not in avoiding difficulty but in choosing how to act within it. This is the essence of strength, the ability to face uncertainty with composure and clarity. Each morning set your intentions with purpose. Speak to your potential. Affirm your capacity. Declare your readiness to grow. A mind trained in focus will act decisively. A mind trained in patience will respond wisely. A mind trained in self-respect will honor your values above fleeting pressures. Growth is not passive. It emerges from effort, awareness, and repetition. The challenges you encounter are opportunities to refine your character. The discomfort you feel is the signal of expansion, not failure. Each moment, navigated with intention, strengthens the foundation of your resilience and sharpens the tools of your influence. Today is yours to shape, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but this precise moment. What you focus on will flourish. What you ignore will fade. Let attention and action align. Let your choices reflect the values you hold. Let presence guide your responses. Type this in the comments. I am the guardian of my mind. Let it remind you that mastery begins internally. Let it remind you that strength is built in quiet moments before it shows outwardly. You are shaping not just today, but the habits, decisions, and character that define every day thereafter. Each morning is a declaration. not just to the world, but to yourself. A statement of intent, a choice to live deliberately instead of passively. Too many people wake up and immediately give their energy away. They let distractions, opinions, and demands shape their focus. They allow yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's anxieties to dictate today's actions. This is a life surrendered. You are not here to surrender. You are here to direct, to decide which thoughts take root, to choose which emotions gain momentum, to determine the story your day will tell. Awareness is your first tool. Reflection is your second. Intention is your third. Use them before the world makes its demands. In these early moments lies the ability to reclaim your energy and your purpose. Your mind is not a passive observer, it is a garden. What you plant, it will cultivate. What you nurture, it will grow. Words are seeds. Thoughts are water. Actions are sunlight. Speak deliberately. Think deliberately. Act deliberately. This is how resilience is built. This is how clarity emerges. This is how growth is accelerated. Life will challenge you. Events will test your patience. People will push your limits. Yet no circumstance can dictate your internal state unless you allow it. Control is not about external outcomes. It is about governing your perception, your response, and your attention. When your internal compass is strong, turbulence becomes navigable. Chaos can occur around you without penetrating your calm. Anchor yourself in presence. Do not allow fleeting fears to drive your decisions. Do not let discomfort provoke retreat. Do not permit distraction to steal your focus. Your power is in conscious choice. Your strength is in intentional action. Your freedom is in the recognition that your mind can remain your sanctuary even when the world demands surrender. Set intentions each morning. Affirm your readiness. Declare your commitment to growth, focus, and self-respect. A mind trained in attention acts decisively. A mind trained in reflection responds wisely. A mind trained in self-discipline honors values above impulse. These habits, repeated consistently, shape character, sharpen judgment, and strengthen willpower. Growth is a process, not a reward. It comes through repeated effort, mindful choices, and embracing challenges rather than avoiding them. Discomfort signals progress, resistance signals expansion. Every challenge faced with clarity and presence is a victory. Every difficult moment, navigated intentionally, reinforces the architecture of your mind. Today exists now, not yesterday, not tomorrow. This moment is your domain. Direct it consciously, act with focus, align actions with values, respond with clarity, allow presence to guide every choice. This is where transformation occurs. One decision, one action, one thought at a time. Type this in the comments. I am the commander of my focus. Let it remind you that mastery is built in stillness, in choice, and in presence. Your day, your growth, your life, they all begin with what you cultivate internally before it manifests externally. The morning is more than a routine. It is a battlefield where you either surrender your mind or reclaim it. Most people hand over control without realizing it. They reach for their devices, scroll endlessly, and let external noise dictate their state. Every notification, every headline, every fleeting thought shapes the emotional tone of their day before they have had a chance to decide. You are not most people. You are here to lead yourself, to set the rhythm of your day, to speak intentionally, think deliberately, and act consciously. Silence before action is not emptiness, it is preparation. Clarity emerges in quiet moments. Strength is forged in stillness. Discipline is exercised in these unseen hours. This is where power is born. Words are instruments of creation. Thoughts are seeds of reality. Every declaration you make to yourself plants a foundation for your actions. Speak with purpose. Consider your intentions. Align your mind with the life you wish to cultivate. This is the essence of self-mastery, the conscious shaping of thought before it becomes action, before it becomes habit, before it becomes destiny. Obstacles will appear. Uncertainty will challenge you. Others will act in ways that provoke frustration or fear. Yet your internal state can remain steadfast. You cannot control everything externally, but you can control your awareness, your judgment, your response. Each choice made with clarity strengthens your capacity to navigate complexity without losing composure. Anchor yourself in now, observe distraction without submission, face fear without retreat, endure discomfort without surrender. The power to remain unshaken resides in deliberate presence. Awareness transforms turbulence into training, resistance into refinement, challenge into opportunity. Set your intentions each morning, affirm your resilience, commit to growth, respect your boundaries, cultivate focus. A mind trained in awareness will respond wisely, act decisively, and prioritize what truly matters. These repeated acts of intentionality shape character, sharpen perception, and create an unshakable foundation of inner strength. Growth is a process. It is not immediate, nor is it passive. It comes from effort applied consistently, from facing difficulties directly, and from choosing presence over avoidance. Discomfort is the signal that your mind is stretching. Resistance is proof that expansion is occurring. Each moment of intentional action reinforces the architecture of your mind. Today is not a rehearsal. It is not borrowed from the past or loaned from tomorrow. Today is the arena where your choices take form, where your efforts gain traction, where your character is built. Show up fully, act deliberately, focus unwaveringly. Let presence guide every thought and action. Transformation is born in these conscious decisions, one at a time. Type this in the comments. I am the master of my focus. Let this remind you that growth, strength, and fulfillment are cultivated internally before manifesting externally. Your life begins in your mind. What you choose there will shape everything that follows. This is the moment where everything converges. The hours of reflection, the mornings of intention, the repeated choices. They are not separate events. They are the building blocks of a life lived deliberately. You are no longer drifting. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstance. You are awake. You are aware. You are present. Every challenge you face now is an opportunity. Every difficulty is a mirror, showing the strength you already possess. Every fear is a doorway to courage. Every setback is a lesson in resilience. You have been preparing for this, not by accident, but through the small, consistent acts of mastery each day. The mind that begins with clarity, the heart that begins with purpose, the body that begins with action. This mind, heart, and body are unstoppable. Your words shape reality. Your choices shape your day. Your presence shapes your life. Speak to yourself with authority. Act with conviction. Move with purpose. Anchor yourself in what truly matters. Let external noise pass by like wind over water, while your inner world remains calm, focused, and unshakable. The power you seek has never been elsewhere. It has always been inside you, waiting for recognition, waiting for consistency, waiting for commitment. The Stoics left us no secrets, only guidance. Their teachings show that freedom, strength, and clarity are cultivated internally through repeated effort, deliberate thought, and unwavering presence. Today, you are the author of your mind. You are the architect of your focus. You are the guardian of your peace. Everything else, opinions, distractions, challenges, outcomes, are secondary. The internal mastery you have built will carry you through any storm. It will guide your steps, fortify your choices, and illuminate your path when the world feels dark or chaotic. Commit to this every morning. Speak your 5 words. Live them in every moment. Reinforce them with action. Let them guide your day, your week, your life. Slowly, inevitably, they will reshape your reality. You will not just endure, you will thrive. You will not just survive, you will conquer. You will not just exist, you will live with purpose, presence, and power. Type this in the comments. I am the architect of my life. Let it remind you that mastery begins within. Let it remind you that your inner world is your most valuable domain. Nurture it, protect it, build it, because when your mind is unshakable, your life becomes unstoppable. This is the culmination. This is the transformation. Today, right now, you step fully into your power. You are awake. You are alive. You are unstoppable.